difference.
What we got going
Everybody
on,
is so ready to build a wall. They're like dying on the edge of their seat. What's the number? Let us cut 100 studs.
Well, my brain's already spinning a little bit this morning because we're about to start woodworking, and the first thing we're gonna do is bolt down some pressure treated wood plates. Now these plates are gonna be in contact with the concrete, and that's why they're pressure treated, and everything else will be what we call white wood, which is just standard framing. Now, the height difference between the wall and the slab is a known number. You know, we can go measure right here to right there.
But it varies a little.
There might be a little variation. In an effort to make the entire bit of our front wooden walls be the exact same height, or at least a reference distance off of our top wall height, I think we should bolt down the top plates all the way around the top of the concrete, and then take a measurement with the laser and average that, and then take the laser and go all the way across our perimeter on the front. Average that, and then we can come up with a stud length that will make our wall a particular height. That's, I think, the best way to knock out any inconsistencies by just focusing on, okay, I measured this one spot, now do the whole house. I think that'd be a mistake.
Yeah. Max has never done this, so what we're doing is we're marking where the bolts are by laying the board down here. That way we don't mess up measurements. And then we're just gonna measure from the outside of the masonry to center of bolt and mark that on the board as well. And then we'll punch them.
Gotcha.
Where's our nuts at?
Don't ask
for the
me.
bolts.
Oh, for the bolts. I think they're over there somewhere.
One thing we're doing here is making sure that the plate actually flushes out with our masonry as we're going, because even though we drill these holes in the right place, the board itself may have a big whip or bow in it. So we may have to make adjustments like bumping the plate or even prying the plate flush as we're driving the bolt home to make sure it just stays put as we're doing that. This powder is like, look at that. It's like hydrophobic. You can't make a hole in it. That is so weird.
What's it called?
This powder? Watch.
Yeah. What did you say? Hydrophobic?
Yeah, like it doesn't mix with water.
Oh, I know.
So weird.
It's afraid of water.
Yeah, that's basically what it means.
Is this right here, is this the only sill plate, or is it going to be doubled?
Well, there'll be another bottom plate on the wall. We could make this the bottom plate of the wall, but it just makes it a little tougher to stand the wall up with studs and shimmy it on. We still have to drill holes in the other one, but we can oversize them.
Gotcha.
Like we can make them real big so that, you know, it just goes on there easy. Okay. I don't know. You could do it either way.
All right.
I think they ran out of sealer or something weird here. You see that, guys? That looks sealed, that doesn't. But I guess we're just gonna plate over it anyway. Max is gonna cut this sill sealer where they kind of join together. There's one little pro tip is just to go past here and just cut through both layers so that you have like a perfect exact fit.
Oh.
So give that a whirl. See if it worked. There you go, boom, exact.
Nice.
I'm just looking at this. I think the interior wall actually runs straight through. So the fireplace is on the outside on the basement level, and it's on the inside on the upper level. So I'm not sure we even need that plate.
This one?
Yeah, but let's just leave it. Well, you need those for sure. You need the side ones. We may have to drill in some bolts and just put that through.
Put this one all the way through?
I think let's put that one all the way through. It wasn't me, bud. Jamie put those bolts there. I didn't do it. Not me this time. Usually is.
Kind of in a rhythm right now, and it kind of messed up my rhythm. I just forgot my number.
We've got some work going on behind the house here too. Jeremy is building up in a couple of lifts our dirt, and that'll allow us to be able to fill in the gravel from here to here without the gravel spilling out on this whole space. So we'll be able to do some more gravel here in a bit. Oh man, this tape is done. Oh my, here you go, bud.
Oh my gosh, dude, what did you do?
Drug it through the nastiest slime.
he puts it back in his pouch. Like you're gonna use that again. Just wait till it dries out.
Another good tip here for installing these plates is that if you need to bop these bolts, like if they're not put in plumb and they're kind of hitting the woodwork somewhere, if you thread the nut on first, you won't mar up the thread. So I threaded that on there, obviously, and you can then adjust, you know, the plumbness of that bolt and get it straight up and down without really making it difficult to get that nut on later. We're done with all the plates on the slabs. We're starting on these walls now. And this is a 2x8. We're putting it flush to the outside. And this is a 10-inch wall, so they're not the same. We're paying attention to make sure we measure our bolts from the outside surface into the bolt. We did drill these holes about the same size as the bolt so that our washer will get better grab on this board. This would be a lot easier if we just drilled giant holes. Wow, that's loud. How's that feel?
More, it needs to go more, it needs to go more. No, keep going, it needs to go more. Looks like y'all been getting at it while we were gone.
Pretty good. We're almost done.
I'm actually impressed. You got enough thread on those bolts?
Oh yeah.
They're sitting a little high, aren't they?
No, they're fine.
Oh,
it's
good.
better than low.
It is better than low. Low is a problem.
We're better set up now. We got a bunch of scaffolding set up, including some new scaffolding. It's this Safe Smart Access mini mobile scaffold, and it's all aluminum. It's on wheels. It's got railings on it and a platform, so it came all in one piece. So thank you to Safe Smart Access for sending this to us to let us check it out. It's really light, which I really love, and I love that it has these little braces, like to anti-tip, because
Yeah,
it's
let's
narrow.
test it out here.
Yeah,
So it'll just give you a little
gives you a lot of extra
stopper there.
leverage. Yeah.
That's right. Now this thing is as tall as it can be, I think, for this narrow of a stance, right?
Yeah.
But it's good. It'll fit in a lot of places. Like our big rig right here, we got for some of the wide open places, but it won't fit back
Yeah.
in some of the cubbies.
So I'm going to tuck this in right here at the end so that we can go ahead and keep trucking.
Let's roll it. Ooh, glides.
It glides pretty nicely. Yep. Lock the wheels.
Lock her down.
Yeah, that's nice.
It is super nice.
We've got this chalk line strung across here. It's black, so it's probably hard to see in the shadow there, but it goes inside the wall about half, 5/8 there. And then inside the other direction down at this end, the same. And that's because this wall was a little crooked compared to the rest of the foundation. So we're trying to work that out now with the plates. So as we measure from the center of these bolts, we're now gonna measure to this string line instead of the edge of the wall. So that our plate is running true, and then the rest of the house will be running true with that. So on this wall, we're doing something different once again. We've got our marks where our bolts go, and we chalked the line 7 1/4 in from the outside on both ends we pulled in, because this wall has a slight bow in. So if we were to measure from all the outside points to our bolts, this plate would also have a bow. We want it to be straight. So that's where we're getting around that here. Today's video is brought to you by PDS Debt, and PDS Debt has custom options for anyone that's struggling with credit card debt, struggling with personal loans, medical bills, or collections. So if you're making payments on your debt every month, but your balances aren't going down, this is a program for you. So who's eligible? Well, anyone with more than $10,000 in eligible debt, and there's no minimum credit score required. So fair and bad credit scores are accepted. You can save thousands in fees and interest.
You can pay off your debt in a fraction of the time.
PDS provides a service to match you with debt solutions tailored to your financial situation. Stop waiting and start saving. So if you think this is something that could help you out, PDS Debt is offering a free debt analysis. It only takes 30 seconds. Just head on over to pdsdebt.com/Perkins and get your free debt analysis today. Thank you, PDS Debt, for sponsoring our video. Let's get back to work. We're putting on our last plate here on the top of the wall. So we're gonna get the laser set up now. I think it needs to be up high, and we'll shoot all of the top of the walls, get an average and maybe put one mark where the most average spot is, then we can pull down, move the laser down here, do the same thing on the bottom, and then figure out our stud height.
Who would have thought that the most average would be the best, right?
That's why we're killing it in life. We're the most
guess.
average guys
Hey.
there is.
That's good. I'm happy about that.
We got to do this level thing, and then we're going to actually frame a wood wall. Finally on this house, on week number 8, we're going to frame a wall. Amazing. How you looking?
So far, it's all within about a quarter of an inch.
So after checking about 25 places along the top of this wall, Jamie said that this corner is the most averagest, how do you say that? The most average height.
It's the most average.
So we're gonna use that as our reference. And now we're gonna do the same thing on this and see what the averagest place is there.
Okay, what's going on here? I see it spinning.
Yeah, down, 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 down.
Really? I thought it was higher than that. I don't know. There we go. 0 30 seconds. I think that's the same as 0, right? Oh, that's low by a little bit. So if they're all low, they're all good.
So this is our most average height on this level, and it did vary about 5/16 total from the highest point to the lowest point, which if you go from that medium point, that's an 1/8 up and down. So that is just fine. So now what do we need to do?
Well,
we need to shoot this,
yep.
and then pull down from that point and add the numbers together.
Yeah.
And that should give us our stud height minus our plates.
Yes, now we need an actual measurement for something, not a reference number.
51 5/8. Okay, let's measure down from the wall. 75 and 11.
127 3/8. That's it
Okay.
right there.
So our total wall height is 127 3/8. But on this wall, our trusses are gonna sit on top of it, on the frame part, right?
The difference.
What we got going on?
Everybody is so ready to build a wall. They're like dying on the edge of their seat. What's the number? Let us cut 100 studs.
Well, this is 15 inches, but that don't mean nothing. All right, the total wall height is 15 inches less than our actual number, which was that 127 3/8. And then we have to subtract our top double top plate and a bottom plate. 107 1/8.
107
What is it?
1/8. That should be our studs.
Oh yeah.
Before you go cutting 100 studs, why don't you mark 107 1/8
Yeah.
on the end of this concrete wall from our slab. Mark 4.5 and mark 15 and make sure it's close.
We should have just done that to start with.
What do you think, Max?
I have no idea. I have no clue what's going on.
We're getting
Also came a little late to the conversation too.
So Jamie was checking on the wall and it did not look very good. It didn't look close at all. So I redid the math and I got 107 7/8 instead of 107 and 1/8. So we're gonna triple check the math now. This is why you double check, by the way. The side of our first wall is gonna butt into the concrete wall, so we need a pressure treated plate bolted or Tapcon to that wall. A little pro tip here is to do it ahead of time and have it be separate from the wall. And the main reason is just so you can get a position with a drill without all these other studs in the way to put those Tapcons in straight and drill the holes. Otherwise, we've had to do it, and I mean, it is the worst thing ever trying to like angle around a stud or something like that.
They're really hard to put in on an angle.
Yeah.
Good tip. Good tip.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
I brought him over just so you'd hear me say that too. Did you see that?
That's all. No, I didn't even have anything to add to it. It's just like, okay, all right, great. Way to go.
You looking for the Big 12? He is. It's right here. Jason's been gone for like 10 minutes. It's right here. Jamie sent you on a wild goose chase. We don't normally do this, but we're gonna crib up the wall framing here as we nail it together because this is a finished slab. That way, if we were to accidentally toenail through the plate down a little, it's not gonna have the nail hit this concrete and chip it. Did you notice all this cribbing down here?
I did.
You know what it's for?
Yeah, it's for guys like you that can't shoot a nail straight and shoot through the into the concrete when you're trying to build a wall.
Exactly. Saving my own butt right here.
But we do have some guys like you on the job, so I guess it's a good idea.
All
Our rough opening height on this door is 96¼ inches, which is about 8 feet. And we're gonna cut our jacks 93¼ because we have 2 bottom plates underneath of it that take out the 3 inches.
We're using some of this leftover 2-inch foam to insulate the headers. And it's gonna work really nice that we have that on site now instead of having to leave the inside off like we've done before and then pack it out with foam and then add the inside layer. Our header here was about 3/8 of an inch short of going from the top of the jack to the bottom of the top plate. So we're adding some shims to kind of fill it out, and then we'll put it in. All right, 1, 2, 3. Jamie's giving Max the whole rundown on laying out plates right now.
Should be able to do it here in about a minute.
I know. Hope he's got about 6 hours of time set
We'll use
aside.
down right now and pour out the holes where the bolts will stick out.
All Max is thinking about is playing the banjo and drinking Tito's. He's not listening to Jamie one bit, dude.
That's a big door.
That thing's freaking huge.
We're getting this corner put in with our nailer facing up to go against that wall and give us a nailer for our siding or sheathing on the outside there. Over here, our nailer is down and it'll get stood up and it'll give us a nailer on the inside for our drywall this way. Another wall going here, and Jamie's checking the truss layout. It's like a gable end truss with vertical pieces that's gonna go on top of it, so we can try and match the layout of the truss framing with the wall framing. That'll make it easier for everything.
Yes, and if you don't know, a gable end truss in a floor system looks like this. It's basically a tiny little studded wall. And I would just love it if our wall studs aligned with these little vertical studs in the truss. That would just make it easy for when we're nailing our sheathing on. It would just
Siding.
pop, going right on up.
Deck
Siding,
band,
all
anything,
of it.
everything.
All of it.
Everything.
Here's our bottom plate. We are having to drill out for all of these anchor bolts with a big bit, 1.5 inches. So we're just laying it up here, flushing it, and once you guys like it, we'll just bop it and get some dents. You like? Where is that sucker? Right there. All right, it did not take us long to get in deep here with marking and remarking and looking at the floor above to see how many studs are between the windows that align with these. And I think we did it wrong. There looks like 4 members, so we don't need to double jack this because this is less than a 6-foot opening, just barely. Like by
That's right.
1/8 of an inch.
I think it's fine. This is technically not a load-bearing wall either. So as far as the header and the support for the header,
Yeah.
I think it's
Okay, so single jack, king stud, single jack, and then we got to remark this in.
That's remarkable.
That's it. So we got 4 members. That matches the upstairs. I made that one a little wide, but that should be it.
Max, you getting all this?
36.
Oh, yeah.
Another question here, is the header height for these windows the same as the door here? And on the next level, it's not. They're like dropped, probably 6 inches. And that's to line up these irregulars, but that looks kind of weird to me. I think we just flush them out on this level.
I think flush on the top, and if we had to drop them, it's a lot easier to leave the header height high and box it down than it is to rip the whole header out and add a higher one, right?
We're gonna wrap for today, but we got a lot framed really quick. Framing is way better than concrete walls. Brock, pack the U-Haul. It's almost done.
It's ready to move in right now.
Alexis is up here with Brock, And we're gonna make the connection here of how we know them is that Alexis worked on Jamie's hand
That's right.
at the hospital.
That's my handiwork.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
she, wow,
Oh man, we get along pretty good.
I see that.
So
Wow.
I'll tell the story from my perspective real quick. You know, of course,
Okay.
I hurt myself. You know, I get rolled into the hospital, and they put me out. Right.
Yeah.
So I woke up. I was, rolling down the hallway. I was just woke up from surgery, and then as soon as she saw I was awake, she was like, "Hey, me and my husband, we got this place, and we're building a countertop. And since you're a woodworker,
Wow, we remember this so
yeah,
different.
I was kind of groggy, but she was like, and we just kind of hit it off. And we were talking about a slab of wood that he was going to finish.
Yeah. So I think you're in one of our videos when Jamie was you unwrapped his hand, like the first reveal.
Yeah, that's right.
If you look back, way back in our videos,
right,
like
yep.
from
That was
4 years
4 years
ago,
ago.
you'll see her. And so that's the connection. That's what it is.
It was a little different than that, but
Yeah.
it's close enough.
Yeah, I mean, my memory is a little, People say I looked
what-
really high on drugs in the videos that I took of myself. I don't believe it. I
You
was
were.
perfectly.
You're like, I'm in the hospital. Like,
I felt great though. I don't know what's. I don't know.
That's all that matters. As long as
Yeah.
you feel good, that's
No,
it.
well, I gotta say I'm really thankful for Alexis and the crew that took care of me. They did a great job, and obviously I'm back here at work doing what I do, what I need to do.
And
So,
we're grateful for that. So it all goes full circle.
Yep, and she's still doing this every day.
yeah.
Every day she's out there fixing people.
Yeah. So you want to see her just get majorly injured in Sylvan,
You
North
don't have to do
Carolina.
that. You don't have to do that.
There she'll
we
be.
treat other things too.
Oh,
We don't
okay.
have to go to that extreme, but yeah.
One last thing before we head out. We just opened a box from someone. They sent us these awesome scissors that fold out. You want to demonstrate, Ray? Boom, boom. And they're kind of like trauma scissors. Yeah, you can cut clothes off without cutting the person, or you can just cut anything. And it's got a tape measure. So Jono's got a letter here.
Says, gentlemen, I absolutely love the channel. Watching you guys work is not only quite educational, but also hilarious. You get to hang out with people you enjoy being around and truly enjoy your work, which is very similar to my practice. You also have the coolest toys. I know you get goodies often, but they are usually for your day job. As you are also very active outside of work, I thought something from my world might be useful to your off-road. While I hope you never need them, these trauma shears come in handy. They can cut through some heavy-duty stuff, and I have a few other little surprises. I got six, but Arlo retired. Maybe Max can use it.
Yeah.
Glass breaker.
Oh,
right
glass
there.
breaker on the end. Dude, these are awesome.
Don't show your kids.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, Jimmy James J. Walker.
Jimmy James Walker.
That was awesome. Thank you, Jay.